and welcome back to my channel.
Even if the sun goes down on you, you gotta keep that shine on top, yeah. On top, yeah.
First time, welcome. Do the things. Subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. I'm K2Tiara, and also on Twitter. Okay, story time. Today we're doing a story time. This is my very first ever story time, so bear with me. I'm gonna tell you about my trip. Should I call it an adventure? What should I call this? My trip with Ethiopian Airways. So recently I went home to South Africa to visit for a few weeks, and so I chose Ethiopian Airways because I decided out of the blue that I'm going home all of a Sunday, all of a sudden. It was very last minute, and so I didn't really plan for it. I didn't budget for it, nothing. So I needed a cheap flight, as cheap as possible. So I chose Ethiopian Airways. These are the reasons why I chose Ethiopian Airways. One, it was one of the cheapest flights there were. Two, the layover time was quite short, which made the entire trip shorter than choosing other airlines. And three, their luggage allowance. They allowed 23 times 2 kg suitcases plus carry-on and a personal bag. So because of that, I ended up choosing Ethiopian Airlines. So my first flight from Korea to Addis Ababa, I was supposed to have like a 40 minutes layover. And then I'll take like a 5.5 hour flight to Johannesburg or Tambo. And then coming back, it would be like a 2 hour layover in Addis Ababa, then head off to Korea. So because of the short layover time, I was like, let's do it. But I must say, I was a bit worried about 40 minutes layover. I'm like, is this enough? But I'm like, you know what? It's just a transfer. I get there, get off one flight, find the gate, get on another flight, and that's it. Right? Wrong. Anyway, so what had happened was, went to Incheon Airport here in Seoul in Korea, and I got on my flight, which left Korea around 12:30 a.m. on the 18th of January. Got on the flight and we head off to Addis Ababa. Now, what we had as dinner or breakfast, since it was just whatever, as we had as food, what we had as food on the flight was mashed potato, broccoli, and chicken. Okay, that was a pretty cheap meal. I was so hungry, I could have literally eaten anything and I probably would have enjoyed it. Like at that point, the way I was so starving, I would have enjoyed anything. So was the meal good? I don't know. I'm not the best judge of it because I enjoyed it. I don't know if it was because I was starving or if the meal was genuinely good. The girl that I was traveling with, though, said she didn't like it. So, anyway, moving on. So, before we got off the flight, it was I think 14-hour flight, between 12 and 14-hour flight. And before we got off, they gave us breakfast or lunch or breakfast, whatever they called it. I don't remember what it was. Oh no, it was breakfast. It was eggs. One plate was eggs and other stuff, and then another one was waffle. I chose waffle. I don't know why I did that. The waffle was extremely sweet. Waffle shouldn't be breakfast, I'm just saying. Anyway, got to Addis Ababa. Instead of 40 minutes layover, it ended up being 15 minutes layover. So my next flight was supposed to leave at 7:50, right? 10 to 8. Then the current flight I was on from Korea landed at 7:30. This is 7:30 a.m. It lands, and of course we have to wait a little bit for whatever has to happen before the passengers get off. So eventually we get off, and then I'm just like running, trying to get to my next gate. I've never used Ethiopian Airline before. I've never been to Ethiopia before. Never been to this airport before. So I don't know what to expect. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to rush. Boarding starts at 10 to 8. And it's like 10 minutes away from 10 to 8. So I need to rush and get to my next gate. Here I am walking. There's a lot of people because I think 3 or 4 other planes had just landed. So a lot of people were in a rush trying to catch their connecting flights. So we all like rushing, trying to get there. So I'm rushing, I'm dodging all these crowds of people. Eventually I come to this place where there's a complete standstill. There's a large group of people, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm a short girl, like very tiny, petite, short, like I'm here. I'm very small, very short. Yeah. So I get there and people are like here, and I'm like here. I'm trying to see what's happening. So anyway, I get there and everyone has stopped. People have their luggages. They're standing there. There's a lot of complaining. There's like chaos. There are no queues, no lines. Other people say queues, others say lines. No lines. It's just a large crowd of people. So I'm trying to understand, why has everyone stopped right here? Can't they? They have to go through security again. Like, our luggage has to be checked again. And I was like, really? Looking at the time, it's 2:15. Now I have 5 minutes until boarding time starts. But I'm not the only one who has to catch this Joburg flight. And Joburg is not the only flight that's like leaving now, like in 15 minutes. No, there's also the flight to Cape Town. Apparently the flight to Lagos. There were like 4 other flights that were gonna start boarding in like 5 minutes. So you can imagine, everyone is stressed out because nobody wants to be left behind by their flight. So everybody's trying to get to their flight. So chaos. People are panicking. People start arguing. People start fighting. Like, yeah, fighting. Yay, guys. So me and these other passengers, we are all going to Johannesburg, and we're trying to find a way to pass so that we can go board. And as we're standing there, it hits now 10 to 8, and I'm like, flip, boarding time has started. We there, we're just panicking. We're trying to talk to the employees there, like, we need to go because boarding time has started for our flight. Our flight is gonna leave us. Help us, let us through. And we're not the only ones who are like panicking and in a hurry. There are other people as well. A lot of fighting, a lot of yippity yap. It was a disaster. Eventually, make it through. I don't even know how. Like, made it through. And then, you know, you have to take out your laptop, take off your shoes, take off your jacket. Ew. Okay, fine. I take everything off, put it on the little carousel thing, moving thing, whatever that goes through the security check. I go through. And then when I get to the other side, this large man, I'm trying to grab my bag, and he just looked at me and started yelling at another language that I have no idea what it was. And then I'm trying to tell him, so, can I just get my bag? He looked at me, yelled, and then he threw my bag on the ground. Everything was everywhere. I was like panicking. I wanted to cry. My passport was over there. Boarding pass over there. My bag. Hey, guys. And I'm like looking at this man. I'm like, how dare you? You're such a bully. Look at you. And then the employees are trying to calm me down. Like, no, leave him. You know, whatever. They're trying to calm me down. I'm trying to calm myself down. And I'm also thinking, you need to go. At this point, it's past 8. Okay, it's after 8 p.m. No, 8 a.m. Sorry, it's after 8 a.m. Boarding started at 10 to 8. Gates will be closed at like 8:15. And I'm like, okay, I put on my shoes, I get my everythings, and I look at this employee man guy, and I'm like, dude, where is gate? I think it was C13. I'm like, bro, where is this gate? He's like, downstairs. I'm like, so I just go there. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. I run down. There's an escalator. I go down and I look. C13 is at the end of the road. I had a whole journey to get there. And as you go down, it looks like you just left the airport. You like in Park Station. That airport. I'm telling you guys, you have to be there to believe it. And obviously I was like under pressure and everything. I didn't think of taking a video for YouTube. Go through crowds and crowds of people. Finally I get to gate C13, and people are sitting down, people are chilled, there's no boarding, nothing. The gate is not even open, and I'm like, no, it shouldn't be like this. At this point, it should be the last group of people boarding or something. Like, why is everybody sitting down? I'm looking for employees. I don't see anyone who works there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't see anyone that I was on the flight with. I don't recognize everyone. And I'm like, does anybody even speak English here? Like, they just look like they didn't speak English. I'm sorry. I wasn't judging, but I was like, what do I do? And then as I'm like panicking, this girl who I was on the flight with comes, and I see her, and I was so relieved. I'm like, oh my gosh, here you are. I'm so relieved. I'm like, look at our gate. Our gate is closed. What's happening? Did the flight leave us? But as you look at the gate, like, the flight that is there is not even going to South Africa. Like, wow, what's going on? We're looking around for someone who works there. We can't find anyone. Finally, the gate next door, which was C12, was boarding. So we go there. We ask the lady, hi, lady, look, a boarding pass. So right now, our flight is boarding. It's supposed to be boarding at gate C13, but nothing is happening. And the lady's like, yeah, I'm busy. Just wait for the agent. They'll come and they'll help you. We're like, no, listen, you don't understand. The agent... We cannot wait because our flight is leaving now, but nothing is happening. She's like, I can't help you. Just go wait for the agent. And we're like, oh my word. What do we do? Finally, there's this guy. He's like the security guard or something. We run to him. We're like, dude, listen. This is the situation. We go into Johannesburg. We're supposed to be boarding at C13. We are here, but there's nothing. What do we do? He looks down at this page and he's like, oh yeah, Joburg, A7. We're like, what? A7? Where's A7? He's like, up there. My God. We're like, okay. Like, it's not even just us. At this point, there are other people who are standing up because they thought they were at the right gate. They're like, oh my gosh, Johannesburg A7? So people start running. We're racing. Run. Go back. When we go back, there's an elevator. There's stairs, not escalators, stairs. The only escalators they had were coming down, and I need to go up. Now, my luggage was so heavy, there was no way I was going to go up the stairs with my luggage. So I had to wait for the lift. The lift just went up. I have to wait for it to come down. It comes down, I get in, and then there's these other people that need to get in. One is on a wheelchair, another one is on crutches. It took a while. You know when you're in a hurry, like, anything irritates you. At this point, I'm panicking. I am panicking. They are taking such a long time to get in. Finally, they get in. The lift goes up. I get out. I'm thinking A7 will probably just be like close, right? Wrong. Get out the elevator. A7 is at the end of the road. Although we go to the end of the road. End of the road. I look at the time. It's 8:20. And then it says the flight is leaving at 8:20. Gates close at 8:15. I started crying. It's gonna leave me. I started crying because I'm like, I don't want to spend the night in Ethiopia or spend the whole day in Ethiopia. I want to go home. This flight is gonna leave me. That gate is so far. I won't make it on time. I am panicked. Full panic. I can't even run anymore because I am so exhausted, and I'm just pulling my bag and teary, and then this woman just comes and pushes me, and then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's not your fault, and I'm just like apologizing to her and just trying to catch my breath so I can run again. Finally, I ran again. I ran, and then the gate was far. Ran. Eventually, when I got to A7, there was still a queue. There were a couple of people that were obviously lost, like me, because they changed the gate and they didn't make an announcement. We had no idea. So a lot of people went to C13 only to find out wrong gate, so they had to come to A7. So I was not the only one. So there was a queue, and I knew that they were not going to leave me. So I was starting to calm down, feel a little relieved, and then I got there, and there was this other lady in front of me, and she's like, I legit broke down. I was crying. She was from China, going to South Africa. She's like, I was crying. I legit thought the flight left me. And after I got there, you would swear I would be the last one. No, there were people running. There were a lot of people that were obviously confused with the gate and everything. But eventually got on the flight. And then an hour and a half in, they gave us food. I didn't eat the food. I didn't like the food. I'm sorry. I didn't like it. So I didn't eat. I just wanted to get home. Honestly, at that point, I just needed to get home. 5 hours later, I was landing in Johannesburg. I was home after Anyway, got home safely. So, what would I say about Ethiopian Airways? Would I book with Ethiopian again? Probably not. I would probably not book with Ethiopian again just for my sanity, because what I went through was traumatic. It was crazy. If for some reason, whatever reason, I book with Ethiopian again, the layover has to be longer. It definitely has to be 2 hours or more, because what happened, I could have easily been left behind because of the chaos. When I went back to Korea though, I had a 2-hour layover and it worked out really well. I landed, got off, went to the gate. I made sure it was the right gate. I asked like 2 people that worked there just to make sure, and then got on the flight. It was the right flight. There was no crazy situation. So I think the main problem was the layover situation of 40 minutes that ended up being 15 minutes. That is what where the problem started. So if I ever book Ethiopian, I will definitely make sure there's a longer layover. 1. 2, the food. 3, the airport. 4, the staff. Most of them were so rude, especially at the airport. A lot of them were very rude. Even on the plane, some of them were quite rude. They looked irritated. If you ask them for anything, they looked irritated, which is their job to assist you or like during the flight. But for them, they just wanted to give you the food, take the plates, but they kind of didn't want to interact. At least that's how it felt to me. There were 1 or 2 really nice ones, but the staff. And the flight though, the flight was fine. The pilots were fine. The takeoff was great. The landing was great. So the flight itself is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the other things. So for my sanity, I will probably never, ever getting back together. No, never, ever booking Ethiopian.
So, a lot of people have been asking me about my hair. Thank you. I know it looks lovely. So, I got my hair braided in Pretoria, South Africa. They are called Maasai twists, and it was done by 3 guys. Imagine, it was so interesting. But I will leave his number in the description box down below, and also the direction to the salon. His name is Amani, and there's 4 of them actually, because there's a 4th guy who's handing them the hair, and as they braid and roll it on their thighs, and it's very neat. It's very neat and very pretty. So if you have been wondering about this hair, check out my description box down below.
Well, that's it for today's video. Just sharing with you guys my experience with Ethiopia.
Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Also check me out on Instagram, and it's all love from me to you. See you in my next video.